Unfortunately,
Yeah, I'm
I think I only have 15 minutes before I have to get back in the car and run somewhere.
So, and that's
Sorry.
just us two, so it probably won't take that much longer. So, we have a Google Doc made where other group members can add their thoughts. I'm just kind of letting our teacher know.
Okay.
But we knew a couple of them weren't going to be able to make it this morning, but they just had to keep our time. So, anyways, Martha, and we'll just go ahead and start. So, did you listen to some of those first songs? The first
I have heard those songs. I'm very familiar with them. I'm going to open if I can get my computer. Since I stayed up till 3 reading Rachel Dolezal's memoir, 3 a.m., then I let my computer die. But I'm going to get on there and pull up the Google Doc right now. What's the first question on it?
How do you think these, and I can type for you if you want, how do you think these styles of music became so popular despite the racial discrimination of the time?
I really was thinking about that, because that's a really interesting question, because there was so much stereotyping, but yet this huge embracing of the parts of culture that they liked. So that's interesting, but that's kind of been the history of how things are with assimilation. But it's because those artists are so incredibly talented, and music is pervasive. You cannot escape it. Like, have you ever heard a song that you just absolutely loved the beat but then you learn the words and you're like, but it's in your head and it's internalized and you're like this and you're loving it, and then you become familiarized with the message or the theme of the song, and you're like, and it's hard to pull away and not listen to that song. So
I hadn't thought of that. I hadn't thought of just the fact that like music gets so like in you.
Yeah. It is. I think of the songs that have the most catchy tunes seem to be almost always the ones that I really don't want my kids to listen to, or me. I'm not, if I can't let the kids listen to it, I won't look at it either or listen to it either.
Right.
Okay, I'm in the Google Drive, and
you're good. Like, I just typed up what you said word for word. So.
Oh, thank you. Okay, thanks for doing that.
No problem.
I do know that I feel good. Oh, that's good stuff. This is like,
these ones really are, and I love like. So I had said up above, like the only one of these that I hadn't heard was "Take the A Train," and I think that was one of the oldest songs, just based on the music videos that I saw. That one seemed really old, but I was like, but it's still a great song. Like, and I'm really familiar with the others. I've heard them all the time. The Supremes are a group I've listened to for years. Like, I fell in love with them as a kid. Like,
that's wonderful.
And I was like, Mom, I love Whitney Houston. Like, do you have more music like her? And I just like love that R&B soul stuff. And like, I don't know, like, it's so funny because like with Rachel Dolezal, like in this way, like in many ways, she feels black. And like for me, like if I could be a black singer, like, that is my insides. Like,
you know what? I'm thinking, I was just going to say that. I feel like you need to identify as black. Why not? And I honestly totally dreamed about that last night. I was like, I'm halfway there. I've got the brown skin. I've got the naturally curly hair. I could pull it off. I'm like, I totally want to be Rachel Dolezal. But there was a lot of horrible negative kickback that I'm like, and I wonder
that she really could make herself like look
black and pass it off.
Really a white girl.
Yeah, she was totally with the blonde hair and fair skin, and it's crazy.
Yeah. And I don't know, she must have just like tanned a lot, and then she's obviously like treated her hair, so like she's changed her hair, and then but even her face, like maybe she does naturally like can look a little bit more black. Like I don't know if like a little bit heavier, kind of like
right
curves, and then she does kind of have like a round nose.
Yep.
that was in her childhood pictures, so that kind of helped her a little bit, I think.
Maybe that helps too. And I'm wondering too if she did a little bit of makeup artistry to make her skin look a little black.
Yeah,
Maybe. I don't know. Because there were times when she identified as black that she looked a little lighter, and then other times that she kind of looked a little darker. But I don't know. And I still don't know. I remember reading that novel in high school. See, I'm old, so I'm dating a lot of adults your age might not even be familiar with the book. There was a book, I think it's called Black Like Me, where a man actually dyed his skin and went out into, and I think this happened in the 60s, maybe the 70s, and went out to have the black experience. And I would love to pull that book up and kind of read it and compare that story to Rachel's experience. But he was actually black because he changed his skin, and then he had a lot of, exactly what an African American would experience. And I think this was during the time of the Jim Crow laws and things. Mm-hmm. So of course he really did live in their skin and feel what it was like to be discriminated against, to have people yelling racist slurs at you. And actually, Rachel Dolezal had a lot of that too. So you wonder that
it's so weird because I interview with her on, I forget what it is. It's a talk show with there's one Asian girl and then 4 black women. It's real.
Oh yeah.
And they asked her point blank, have you had black experiences?
Yeah.
One of the girls was saying, it doesn't matter how successful and beautiful I am, there are some opportunities I will never get. And she was like, have you experienced anything like that? And just asked her point blank. And all she said was that the cops check black on when they're racial, when she gets a speeding ticket. I'm best you can come up with, you're not really helping your story. But still, I don't understand why she couldn't have said, you know what? I haven't had as much of a black experience as you because I was born Caucasian, but I realized that there is a difference between us in that way, but I still want to identify as black, and if that means having some of these black experiences that are negative for you, then I'm okay with that. You know
what? You're so right. If she would have just
can't make it, and I feel it's because it's not simple, but the fact that it's not simple makes me scary of the whole thing.
You're right.
Concepts.
That's such a good point.
No matter how grand a concept is, you should be able to still say it. Its core simply. I think the gospel and how intricate it is, but I think that is. There's just been quotes about how the gospel is so intricate and you can study it for a lifetime, but yet its principles are simple enough for a child to understand.
True.
True. Story can't be, if you can't state the basic ideology of your story or your beliefs or your experience, I'm just what is it then? It's just.
You're right. You're right. Hers is very complicated, and there's a lack of integrity and honesty.
Controversial. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. And if you belong to the human race, you also owe it to the human race to have integrity, honesty. And it's hard. Yes, race is a socially constructed thing. And it is hard because there probably have been people who, lighter skinned African Americans, who felt that they should pretend because they had more access to more opportunities, and honestly, who would fault them for doing that? So anyway, sorry, but yeah, let's have a whole other conversation about this, because
I did have one thought though about why maybe she won't just state that I was, because what she did say when she was asked those questions, well, if you think about it, we all come from at some point, we all have a black mother if you go back far enough, and I don't know if that's her way of trying to really prove that she's black or can be if she wants to be. Maybe that's why she's straightforward. She's not willing to acknowledge that she was born Caucasian because she doesn't believe that. But I'm okay, it kind of goes by generation, lady. Like she just needs.
Yeah, the facts.
I mean,
Well, and if you read her memoir, it
Yeah.
is a little bit whiny. Like there were incidents that were hard about her childhood, but nothing that was as blown up in her interviews. Like her brother did kind of like
there was-
molest her from the waist up. That did happen. I'm hoping that getting further into the book, that's all, and that's enough.
apparently
That is enough. But her like she whines about her like living on a farm and living a self-sustaining lifestyle where they were like they were poverty and they were made to do hard child labor, but nothing more than what I think would be good and healthy for a kid, you know. And she kind of whines about there are some things that were over the top. Like she was made to eat this awful oatmeal that had the grain on it, and then she threw up, and then her dad forced her to eat that. So that's obviously abuse and over the top. So you'd probably choose to identify as Black too.
It's true. I don't know.
That's true.
Like she says that she can't believe that her parents deny her stories, like the molestation and probably the oatmeal. Like I think her family would deny it, and I don't know if it's to protect themselves or because she is like really kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's true. Do you know what? If she has fabricated one thing, how are you to believe any of the other things?
Like in order to try to like create some self-integrity, I mean our memories are like powerful, but they can really get twisted if we try hard enough.
That's so true.
So something, and so I don't want to totally discredit her. Like I don't know, but there's not enough clarity for me to really.
You're right. You're absolutely right. That's probably why I'm so fascinated by the story, because I keep digging. I need more information. I need to know why, but there is never going to come a why. I'm never going to get a why out of this. I'm never going to come to any clear conclusions because I watched the documentary and I had no more answers than when I began. I thought, well, I'm still just as confused. I don't know what to think about her. I don't know what to think about it. I don't know what to think about anything in this. And I think that's the point of the documentary. The person making the documentary wanted it to be.
They just want a conversation like we are, which is interesting. And, you know, if anything, it just begs the question of, like, can someone be allowed to change their race? And, like, what makes someone Black, what makes someone white? And I think that's what she wants people to talk about.
Well, and a Black person cannot simply choose to be white. It's not possible. So maybe that's part of the anger. You can't cross that direction. Oh, my timer's ringing. Oh, well, let's hurry and get to the next question. I'm sorry, Rachel. You're so fascinating to talk to, and I'm so glad you wanted to open up about that, because I'm like, I was really literally lamenting. I'm like, well, Rachel's not in my discussion board group, and I really want to know what she thinks about this, because I love honest, open adult. I want to know. And if you're 100% like against what my opinion is, I want to hear that, because I love that. I love that back and forth and being able to, that's where you internalize these things that you're learning in the class. That's where you really get deeper into the subject instead of just reading a textbook. You know, this is all interesting stuff. Okay, so we did the first question, I guess, right?
Yes, and I wrote what we said. So how does music overcome some elements of social distance? Music is a universal enjoyment. Everyone loves music. And because it's entertainment, which is something that's kind of a light-hearted thing, I think that it helps people to be less serious about it.
You're right.
And they're like, well, it's just entertainment. It's just fun. So...
Are you making me red? It looks like I'm red.
Yeah, is that fine?
Language. So music is a universal language, like you say. Oh, you just said that.
That's a good way to put it. Well, I said I like that. Music is a universal language.
It's interesting that people who may express racist ideologies can communicate through music with no, it like erases. Okay, I'm writing this down. It almost erases any social, what's the word that I'm looking, something that, inhibitions. Inhibitions. Okay, that's good. Okay, I probably am going to have to finish thinking and writing about these questions on my own, and I sincerely apologize, but I don't think Sister Shirtless
will be mad that we had a lively conversation about race.
I totally agree. I think that's exactly what she wants to see, is that these things are getting internalized and we're thinking about it, we're talking about it, we're dreaming about it, we're staying up until 3 a.m. studying about it. These are not healthy life choices, but it's summer and I'm hoping I can get a nap later. But today's my anniversary, so I'm thinking that probably wasn't the best. 21 years. So maybe the 3 a.m. thing should have happened like another night of the week, but whatever. We'll see. But it is fascinating. Bless you. So I will add to this. I will look through it and get some opinions, and hopefully the other people in our class will have an opportunity to check into it before the weekend. Thank you, Rachel. Let's have another good conversation next week. I'll come with all of my race and ethnic guns so that we can talk about it. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.